I have absolutely invested too much time in understanding people, but it had to be done. We're going to talk about emotional availability. That's big words for some people. So, what I noticed is that, whenever we need someone to emotionally show up for us, they make it about them. And in that, their mental ability to relate is not there. And so I was talking with messaging an old acquaintance, like right off the bat, sex is they want to take it to that. And so I was trying to explain that I'm not in that space because of things that have happened. I'm just not there. I'm in a mental space. I'm not thinking about my libido. And so this person, their response was to send me a picture of their plumbing, as though that's all I'm interested in. Well, that's all they're interested in. So understand that is the extent of that person's capacity. Understand this. So when they make it about them, they do not have the capacity to show up for you. You're gonna have to find someone else. If not, be what you need. And so in different ways, create a new character. In different ways, I have had to creatively be what I needed, because to place those expectations on someone else, is that really fair? Number one. Number two, they're always going to let me down. It's never going to be what I quite pictured of what I needed. And so this is where your child self is your reliable aid. And so I have pictures of myself when I was younger, and that's essentially who I imagine showing up and being what I need in the conversation. Or perhaps I'm in child mentality and I need the grown-up version of me. And so in this, we have, essentially, we give our power away when we rely on other people for that, instead of creating that space inside of ourselves. So recognize this. If someone else's idea of showing up for you is a casual sexual encounter, or things that are all about them, or basically people set things up to where they reap benefits in some form for being there for you. They need the head pats, the ego boost. There's different things like this that people need to watch out for. I fell for a lot of stuff because I didn't understand that this is what other people were doing. And what I had to realize is that majority of everybody, at least around me, is the opposite of me in a wide variety of ways. And so I had to really step outside of myself to understand what it was people were doing. And so some people are going to show up for you because they need to feel good about themselves, and doing something for other people helps them feel good. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. If again, they're going to make it about themselves. And so understand their small capacity. If they're being a container, I'm trying to be a conduit, have things flow through me. And so whatever happened in the past, that flowed through me. That's like recalling yesterday's poop or my poop from a year ago. Why are we recalling that? It's not pertinent to today. And so understand this about people, that this is what they're doing is they need that recall moment to feel good about themselves in the future. And so you can choose to participate or choose not to. For a period of time, I chose to not participate because people need to, I wanted to see what they were going to fill their ego with. And majority of the planet, women and men alike, they're in a very sexual place. And what people don't realize about that, it means that like you hit the roof, the glass roof, the glass ceiling on a mental level. And so you have to break through that. And sometimes that means hurting somebody's feelings. But essentially, some people are always going to choose to be low-hanging fruit. And so you have to get down to their level in order to exist with them, which lowers your frequency. And so I discovered that if I have to keep climbing down the frequency tree to meet these people, I'm going to make it worth my while, and they're going to learn a lesson. They're either going to grow or they're just not going to keep messing with me. And so recognize that the whole, if the glass roof is like, if their stopping point is where sex is, they're in a monkey mentality. So monkeys are that's the primitive brain. When people get traumatized, things happen, or perhaps they were never led to a, their life didn't accommodate maturing them, or, whatever happened there. But the maturity level means that they're still an emotional infant, and the sexual part of things is simply a release. They think it's love, but it's not. It's love of themselves. It's love of feeling good, essentially a block. It's a mental block, and so people that are mentally blocked, that's typically what they resort to is sex. And so I've been in a marriage with a man that, like my first marriage, it was all about that, and being his idea of the wife that he wanted in his life. And I couldn't live down to those standards, and so I left. My second husband, I don't know, he was playing all sorts of mental games. And so I caught him with a variety of pornography that he had tried hiding from me. He was an Alaskan fisherman. What happens on the boat stays on the boat. Well, when you catch HIV, it's kind of hard to leave that there, isn't it? And so he brought all sorts of dysfunction home to me and my children. And so I had no choice. It's not about love. It's about what's healthy. And I had no choice but to cut him out of my life. And I've had other relationships after that. And they kept treating me like I was the dysfunction. But when I look back, it's not that I don't have dysfunctions. It's that I was lowering myself to meet their dysfunctional needs instead of raising myself up to meet my own needs. And so you're going to find this with people and recognize they're low-hanging fruit and you might not be. So perhaps you have to leave them on the branch that they're on and keep climbing your tree. The tree of knowledge is one that you climb. You're not supposed to eat it. And so this is where we have been told all sorts of wives' tales, and it is not about what applied to other people, it's about what applies to you. And so these old wives' tales, you might have to reframe them to where they do work for you. And so keep climbing. Don't let low-hanging fruit hold you back. If they want to continue sending you pictures of their plumbing, then you're probably going to have to just delete them, because mental capacity wise, they don't have the ability to comprehend your no, is what I discovered. And so they're like, whatever happens to them, Hakuna Matata, hope for the best, but don't let their problem be your problem. Block them, ignore them, whatever you need to do. But recognize that where a lot of people are at, a lot of people are stuck at low-hanging fruit. They're not trying to be intellectual. They're not trying to spiritually grow, mentally grow, or physically grow. They have just found their happy, sweet spot in the scheme of things in life, and they plan to stay there. Okay, so, well, if you're advancing, then you're going to have to leave them there. And that's where we become attached to the obstacle. Perhaps their place in your life was just an obstacle, and you're going to have to try not to bring that obstacle with you if you want things in your life to be better.